Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of The Aftermath. We did
that so fast, guys. We did that so fast.
Right off the get-go.
You'll never guess what we watched.
Yeah, we watched Ouija
Go
Shark.
on.
Shark
I
the
dare
movie.
We watched Ouija Shark.
No, we did not. Don't ever.
We
Don't,
really
I did
watched Sharknado.
No, we did not.
No, those are two on the list, though. Ouija Shark for sure.
What is the other big shark movie, you may ask?
Megalodon.
Sharktopus.
What?
That's real.
What?
That's real.
How come you haven't showed me this yet?
I wanted to save you.
Well, guess what? I feel saved. For nothing, I want to watch Sharktopus.
Oh, no.
I'm disappointed. I'm very disappointed.
Would you say you're shark appointed? I tried to.
I'm shark pointed, yes.
No, anyways.
Yeah.
That one was bad. You can just say it.
I feel like this one's going to be a...
Boo!
I think this one's going to be a quick
Get
one,
off the stage.
Dude, I gotta be honest. Like, I didn't dislike the movie, but, like, I also disliked
I could
everyone.
tell you were... you were like...
These people were insufferable.
Every, 5 minutes, there was a heavy sigh from Sean.
That's just because I'm tired as hell. But, like, these people were insufferable.
Yeah. Dude, I don't blame you.
Before we get into it, do you guys want to talk about your weeks at all? Anything happening?
Oh, man.
I don't want to talk about it.
Don't.
Then no,
I'm not going
there
to.
we are.
There you go.
We're good. Yeah,
I'm
we'll just
not
talk
going
about
to.
something else.
They'll just have to fucking wonder.
You'll just have to wonder.
I worked a bunch and it was crazy, and I was like, I should stop working.
The only thing I was gonna say was, at the end of this week, I'm finishing up my first job.
Yeah.
And my second job will be my first job.
Progress.
That was what I was talking about, but I didn't know how much I wanted to divulge, obviously.
Yeah, I mean...
So, anyways, my career path could be opening up a little bit, and I could have some free time, which just the thought of brings a little joy to my heart. Just having a few days off in a week makes me want to cry a little bit, you know?
That's something I need right now.
Because right now, dude, woof. That's all I'm going to say. Dude, these past 2 months have been killer on my mental well-being with the lack of free time and just carefree stuff I've been able to do. Dylan has been on the receiving end of this many times. It's like I have the best intentions, but when it all comes down to it, it's like there's just so much that needs to get done that I can't.
Yeah. That's not to mention Ethan is on the complete opposite side of the spectrum right now. He's...
Not anymore.
Not anymore?
Not anymore. I'm scheduling a lot. Whenever I finished up my paramedic and I got registered, I took 2 weeks off.
Oh,
the problem is taking the 2 weeks off, my paycheck was like $100, which was fine, but I'm just broke right now.
Yeah.
It was still totally worth it. But now I'm waiting to go full time, and also I'm picking up normal shifts. So, I mean, it's back to normal for me.
Okay.
But, yeah, recently I haven't done anything, which is why I don't have any stories. I got back to working, and it was just ridiculous. And I was like, this is why I should stop working for everyone's sake.
Yeah.
But, I mean...
This is why I need a break.
This is why everyone else needs a break from me. I worked, and I was like, I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. Everyone's just ridiculous today.
Yeah.
But, I mean...
Happens to everybody.
What about you? Just same old for you?
Working.
Mm-hmm.
This is my only other day off this week besides Sunday.
Oh, man.
Yep.
Yikes. Well, I think we have our local Renaissance Festival starts up in November. Man. And it happens in every weekend in November and then the first weekend or two of December. And it's about an hour drive away from us, and it's like that thing that happens every year that the friend group kind of looks forward to. Tradition, yeah. It's kind of like I've noticed that not every place has a Renaissance Festival. And again, a lot of people may not understand what that is. A lot of people probably do, but whenever I stayed in Canada, that wasn't a thing.
Really?
At all. Or at least not in the places that I stayed. But they did have fairs. They had city fairs, and it was like a park, and it was basically somewhat the same thing, except a little more modern, for obvious reasons.
Not as cool.
Definitely not as cool.
Is the word you're looking for?
But it's like a thing that happens every year. Everyone comes together. It's like a community thing, and it's wacky and fun. It's like a carnival to some degree with just the wacky people. So I'm really looking forward to that because this is like the first week of November.
Mm-hmm.
And so by the time you guys are listening to this, it will be the first weekend of that thing being open, the Renaissance Festival, and I'm super hyped about it. It's just fun. It's just, dumb humor, but it's also like goofy people dressing up.
It's that time of the year where the weather's still in that transitional period between hot and cold.
At least for Louisiana's.
But there's so many more things to look forward to.
Yeah. It's the holiday season.
Feels like there's more going on.
It's like we have Thanksgiving coming up for the U.S., like in like the States.
Mm-hmm.
Christmas is around the corner. Like Dylan was saying, the weather changes and it just feels nice. And it's like, it's like all these little stepping stones that lead
an
up
infinitely better time of year.
Yes, yes.
It's a fair. You can do all the fun fair stuff.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's why
just really good gross food.
I'm looking forward to that.
I've really
bread bowl soup.
I've never really eaten the food there. It's just I go there for like the atmosphere and for shopping for other stuff.
I don't think
I've ever eaten the food there.
They recently,
they're always out of the food whenever I go there. If you don't get food at like 8 a.m. when you get there, it's all gone. So
they recently opened up at that mini donut place. They opened up a whole goddamn cafe.
Really?
The last day we went, the last week we went for all the fireworks and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We went to go get mini donuts at the mini donut pavilion thing.
Right.
And I walked over there, and they got whole goddamn espresso machines back there. And I was like, what the hell? The frick is this? And I was
it's
like,
worth
I can
mentioning that the first year in like 5 years I didn't go was last year because I worked every day for 3 months. So
I forgot about that.
Yep. So that was like the first that like broke a streak of probably at least 5 years.
Yikes.
Doing that.
We got to fix it this year.
I mean, well, yeah, and I'm going this year.
Heck yeah,
it's just like that.
Well, if you go to the mini
not part of
donut
the
place,
streak.
they make lattes,
I'm going
chai tea
multiple
lattes,
times.
cafe lattes, all like they have.
I've been there. I remember that. I remember the place. The place was
Yeah.
good.
Dude, and I had one the last day there, and I was like, I wish I would have known this freaking a month ago when I started coming here.
Not only donuts, but also coffee as well.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, weight in my heart.
The two are like synonymous. You
Yes.
can't have one without the other.
Of course. And I was like, man, and it was pretty good too. I mean, like all things considered,
Renaissance
go in-
coffee.
I go in with really low expectations, and of course I was like, wow, these are actually really good. So, but yeah, it like everyone's been saying so far, it's a fun time.
Yeah.
It's a great atmosphere, and it's that time of the year for us at least where it's like things start getting exciting. It's the end of the year. It's just a fun time. Drink and be merry. Come on.
Tell you what you won't see this time of year.
What's that?
A shark.
Oh gosh.
This is the first
That's
year.
right.
What a transition.
Time for Jaws.
Jaws the
That's
movie.
what we watched. We never said it at the beginning.
Yeah, no, definitely not. We
No.
just kind of stumbled our way. I mean, I was hoping that the damn it would have
Oh, well, of
done
course it was a dead giveaway. But just
know.
in case anyone didn't pick up on that
Yes.
for whatever reason, shame on you.
Teeth, the movie.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's
Mandibles.
a different movie.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right.
Yeah, I'm gonna vomit.
It's an X-rated movie.
Oh, God.
Or R-rated movie. I don't know.
Doesn't matter what it's rated. It's freaking dumb.
TVMA.
That's what matters. Yeah.
So what's you guys' thoughts?
That was a big shark.
Everyone talked over each other.
It was a big fake shark.
Yeah. No, I'm like I said at the beginning. To cut straight to that. Everyone was insufferable.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna say I disliked the movie as a whole because like Alien, I couldn't get over it. I disliked the
Yeah.
movie kind of as a whole.
Yeah.
But this one, I can't really say I disliked it as a whole. Like there was some good stuff. It was good. I liked it. But also like I found myself consistently not being able to stand anybody in the movie. I'm like, spoiler warning, Captain dies. Spoiler warning, pretty glad Captain
Even
dies.
the other two main characters seemed happy that he was dead.
Dude, he was a little
Yeah.
bastard, man. He was so annoying.
He's kind of a turd from the get-go.
He was like, oh man, like we needed a bigger boat. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
But like, and then just all everybody was so insufferable. Oh man,
I noticed there was so many times where so many people were talking at the same time. I had a
I
hard
think
time
that's a thing in
following
older movies.
what was going
Yeah.
on.
Because like Alien did the same thing. I had a headache in Alien because everyone would just like, be like talking at the same time. I'm like, and then whenever someone's like, stop, they say it like 4 times, no one listens. I'm like, okay, you guys can get your point across in this movie by whenever someone says stop 2 times, everyone's stopping. You don't have to make it seem like there's actual chaos going on and this person can't stop. Like it's part of your lines. Please, like legitimately stop. Slapping the freaking gavel and saying order, and no one's ordering, and I'm like, I really stop, please. I'm just trying to get on with the movie. It was just painful.
This movie was shot in what 70? What did they say? 75, 76?
74 or 5.
One of those, and it just had that feel about it.
Yeah.
Like it felt like I didn't even have to know that it was like a mid-70s movie,
Mm-hmm.
but watching it, I was like, this is in the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
There's one thing about the movie throughout the many times I've watched it that makes it seem newer than it is. And it's that fucking dolly zoom on the beach whenever the kid gets fucking eaten.
Whoop.
Like that's not something I'm sure it's like super fucking easy to pull off, but it's not something I would have expected to see in a movie in the 70s.
Yeah.
Wait,
And it was
Maybe I'm just stupid and my expectations are skewed.
It was when the first kid not at the top of the movie, but the first kid dies on the beach.
Mm-hmm.
The police chief guy, the dolly zoom is whenever the camera physically moves forward and simultaneously zooms out. So whenever it does that, it like the person's head stays the same size, but what happens is their like perspective kind of shifts a little bit, and the background like
it basically like moves behind them.
Yeah, and it kind of is like
I have to see it again to understand. That's fine.
It's kind of wacky.
I didn't really pay
A lot of
attention.
times horror movies or like kind of thriller suspense movies will do it
Yeah.
because it just kind of is that like whoa,
Yeah.
like kind of
It
you know.
evokes that little sense of shock. It feels like.
Yeah, yeah. It's like you said, it's not hard to pull off, but it definitely, when done correctly, you're like,
I
that's
think
really
I
good.
think I know what
Yeah.
you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I didn't like anybody in that town hall meeting. Not a single
No.
person.
No.
And he's like, we're gonna close it. And then Greedy Mayor's greeting is like, yeah, just for 24 hours. And people still aren't satisfied
Gotta
by
get
that.
those
No.
summer
Yeah,
dollars.
and everyone shouts. And that one person in the background said this line, and it made me want to die.
Oh
The
my
person
God.
said, 24 hours? That's like 3 weeks. What does that even mean? Like, what is your
Like,
perception
I
of
just
time?
stopped the meeting right there and said, "Ma'am, get the fuck
Yeah,
out.
no, you're not.
Get
You're not
out.
You're not welcome.
You're too stupid to be
I
in
just-
this room right now.
I-
I'm sorry."
I love-
Like, what is your perception of time that you can say the phrase 24 hours is like 3 weeks, and somehow it makes sense in your head? Because it's like, in what, like, if you said like 24 hours, that's like forever because you're on a beach house in a beach town,
Yeah,
beaches. That makes sense.
and
but
work
like,
doesn't exist.
Where does 3 weeks come into play here? What is it? 24 hours? That's like 3 weeks. I hate that line. I hate
Yeah.
that person. I hate that
I'm-
meeting. Like,
There was like so many times in that meeting specifically, there was a certain character of old person
Oh yeah.
that was there that like somebody said something or at a certain point they crack a joke.
Mhm.
And like the lady like looks over and is like, "That wasn't funny. I didn't find that funny." And I was like, "No one
Wait,
cares, Karen."
Was that the chick? Wasn't it the chick whose kid died though?
No.
I
Who was in the meeting? And
No,
she was
I
like,
don't
"That
think
wasn't
so.
funny. It's because her kid died." Is what I thought. That's
No,
why I thought
no,
that.
no.
I thought that was a reasonable line because her kid died. If her kid didn't die, then she was just a bitch. But to be fair, whatever. You know, they all were anyway. They like just add to it.
Jeez.
Like, man, gosh, they were just so annoying.
Yeah.
And then my one funny scene for
But then
me
the
was
action
like,
happens.
even still, like in the next scene, the dude's like drinking an entire like 16-ounce glass of wine.
Hell yeah.
What a mad lad.
What a
Like,
boy.
Hey,
And so
got good news and bad news. We killed a
was-
shark. Bad
The
news
right
is it
one.
wasn't the shark.
yeah, it was before that scene. Sorry, whenever the guy's like, his kid's in the boat and he's like, "Get out the boat, get out the boat," and his wife's like,
Oh, yeah.
his wife's like, "Nah, man, you could just let him stay
Don't
in the
worry
boat. It's
about it."
fine." And then she just looks at the shark pic and just looks up and says, "Ouch!" Oh my god, I was like, "Yeah, okay, wow, good job."
Well, she looks at the magazine which has this
A shark
this,
eating a
this
boat.
cartoon depiction of a
Two horrified fishermen.
yes of
Under
a shark
assault.
like just chomping at the bottom of the boat, and then just like all of a sudden the mom has the realization like they can do that.
Okay, it's no more.
Out the boat. Yeah. And then
After she was just like, let him have his fun, let him stay in the boat. He's in the boat, he's safe. And then all of a sudden, like, oh dear God.
Nah, bitch, there's a fish the size of a school bus out there.
to be fair,
Eat
like
your kids.
the shark wouldn't come that close to land anyway, which is like my complaint for the entire movie and my complaint to everyone who fears sharks as well. It's like at no point in my life, unless I'm deep sea diving to look for sharks, am I going to come in any near contact to a shark ever.
Yeah.
Even if I go on the beach, I'm never going to go far enough out. So I'm not scared of sharks. Are they scary? Hell yeah, brother.
Mhm.
They're terrifying. But I'm just like, okay. That dude's like on a dock, literally at the shore. There's no way that a shark could even get close to where he's at. And they're like, oh God. I'm like, no, like, I'm pretty sure you know what? Whatever. Freak it. Scary
Yeah.
shark is scary. Fine. I'll give you that. But like, At this point, my next note, because of the following scenes, mainly because of the mayor. Before I even go to my next note, the freaking mayor. Man.
Oh God,
what
the mayor,
a bitch.
The mayor. A different note later on, I wrote the main villain: sharks bad, mayor worse. That's like a couple of notes ahead. 'Cause it's
careless
like, oh,
mayor.
right, yeah, sharks bad, but the mayor's a real bad villain here, right?
The shark's
Yeah.
just fiending on human flesh.
like-
The mayor is the enabler.
Yes. The mayor's giving him the human flesh, like literally.
A sweet coin.
Everyone talks about Jaws and they're scared of the shark. I'm scared of the mayor who willingly lets his people die. I mean, I get it. All politicians are corrupt politicians.
Some are dollars.
All of them, but still, yeah, some are dollars. Like,
To politic is to corrupt.
yeah, right. To corrupt is to politic. You know, it's just I don't know what that means, but I feel like that cut deep and like just eat my shorts. That's all I gotta say.
Oh, Jesus.
But no, like he's like, if you haven't seen the movie, I'll just describe it real quick. There's the mayor. Is
He's
you
the
know
main antagonist.
He's the main antagonist.
Wears the dumbest dress shirts I've ever
he looks
seen.
he wears dumb dress shirts, but he wears them because he's the mayor of a beach village. Of course he would, right?
A beach village.
So he is the mayor of Beach Town, USA, right? So he's a bit of a beach. That was a knee slap. So
Shit.
he is the mayor of a beach town, and he's like,
Sorry, that was my brain not computing that
right?
joke.
Oh, well, I'll repeat it.
No,
again,
no, please
but
just stop.
this time slower. No,
Beach.
So he's like, okay, he knows that he's the mayor of Beach Town, USA, right? So he's like, I need the summer dollars. It's the 4th of July's tomorrow, and I need the summer dollars because our city runs off of it. And we're like, yeah,
Like, okay,
but there's a
that's
shark
great.
that's already murdered 2 of your citizens. And he's like, let's be reasonable. I hate that line. If your villain says, let's be reasonable, I hate your villain. I'm sorry. I'm just going to be honest. Every time someone's like, come on, let's be reasonable.
Like,
It's not
okay, so you've taken reason off the table, I see.
exactly. Every time they're like, come on, let's be reasonable, they're immediately going to follow that, bam, with an unreasonable quote. Like immediately.
Just do whatever I want.
Yeah.
Don't
Let's be
don't even mention
reasonable.
the shark.
Let's
It's no
feed
big deal.
Feed a couple humans to the sharks for money.
Kids are a dime a dozen. You can just have another.
So he's like, let's not shut down the beaches. And then, like, the chief of the police is like, sure, for some reason. Doesn't shut down the beach. Everyone goes there. And then no one's going in the water because they know it's Sharktown, USA. So then he's like, get in the water. Get in the water.
Just get in the water.
So then
No
they
one's
get in the
getting in the
water.
water.
Just splish splash in the water.
Yeah, just a little splish. So then he gets in there. This elderly couple. Why would he start with them? The youngins are the ones who would believe you. The elderly couple would be like, nah, they're set in their ways, man.
Not only did they actually go out into the water, they
But
brought their kids with them.
And I'm about to get to that too. They brought their kids, and then everyone else. Which this I felt like you, Ian, or Dad. Someone was like, that is not how that would work. But I feel like, honestly, with the mindset of most Americans, that's lemming mentality right there.
Yeah.
So 5 people go in like, oh, it's safe, and everyone else is like, oh, it must be safe, and just walks in the water too.
There's like
now I've got an
5.
ocean full of people and a shark that's somehow still close enough to shore.
Peer pressure's a hell of a
So
drug.
this is why the mayor convincing
It
everyone.
that's not even peer pressure.
No, it wasn't. Again, it's
That's
just,
like,
it's just
stupidity.
it's just lemmings.
that's like there is a dangerous animal out in that water, and you have 5 people go in slowly by themselves, looking scared and nervous. You go, oh,
Yeah, what are the chances
sucks
it'll
to be
happen
them.
again?
Yeah.
I just watched a boy die last time I was in here.
yeah, exactly. That's not peer pressure. That's like, you're dumb.
Reckless abandon.
Yes, exactly. Everyone else is like, let's go.
Devil
in there.
may care.
I don't
Shark
know.
will care.
Yes.
And that's why I made the joke, like, toward the end of the movie, I was like, all right, guys, I'm not trying to make a joke saying that I'm, like, built different or something. But if the chief of police is like, don't get in the water, there's a shark. And then the mayor's
I'm
like,
gonna get
come
in that
on,
fucking
get in the
water.
water. There's no shark. If that's the dichotomy, the angel on my shoulder saying, don't get in the water, there's a shark, and the mayor saying, get in the water, there's no shark, I'm just going to simply not get in the water. I was like, I understand that might be mind-blowing to these lemmings, but I would simply
I felt bad.
not.
There's a certain point in the movie whenever that first kid dies, and the mom comes up and like slaps the police chief in the face, like, I can't believe that you knew all this stuff and let it happen anyways.
That was a good scene.
And I was like,
to be
that
fair,
was
the mayor is the
that was a
problem that
good
everyone's
scene,
standing up
but
for.
the only thing I would have said was, I appreciate your concern, ma'am, but let me bring you over to my
good friend.
my authority that told
my
me
boss.
not to do that. My boss, the one that pays my check that I have to obey, told me to go against my own judgment. So just know, you may slap me in the face, you may say you cannot forgive
go
me,
slap him
but
in the
just
nerd
know
face.
that I was going to close on the beach indefinitely until we capture the monster. But
Now,
no.
To be fair, in the
That's what
words
I
of
said.
good old cool hand Luke,
Yes.
calling it your job don't make it right.
Mood AF. So,
I mean, but
Like, I can
regardless.
understand the dude's a family man. He's got he's got mouths to feed, bills to pay. But
again, that's not his paycheck we're talking about. That's the city's paycheck.
Right.
Oh, the city's going to have to make cuts because guess what? We had a man-eating shark. But then again, the issue is no one's going to come to your summer vacation happy
there's
town
a shark.
if there's no happy town because the sharks are there.
Right.
If everyone finds out. So the thing is, everyone's going to find out anyway. Shut the beach down. Kill the shark. What are you doing? But he's like, nah, come on. Money.
I'm not saying blame it on
tomorrow's the 4th of July.
I'm not saying blame it on your job. I'm saying like, I'm just doing my job. It's like, no, it's like, just know that I had every intention of shutting down the beach.
Oh,
and
yeah.
guess who usurped my authority and said it's going to stay open?
It's someone else's
So just
fault.
know you're pissed off, and I understand where you're coming from, but just know that I did everything in my power to shut down the beach, and guess who didn't do it?
Yeah.
Your mayor.
Thank goodness he didn't make like any of those excuses.
Yes, exactly. Yes, that's what I was saying. In the police chief's defense, I was like, I wish he just would have kind of backbone for a second and just been like, I hear you, but just don't get mad at me.
So at this,
I tried. I'm trying. Watch me. I'm trying to get the shark.
So at so I forgot exactly where at what point, but at some point here I wrote down why the frig is everyone so annoying in this movie? Because again, I wrote that, I was like,
it's pretty noteworthy.
yeah, I was like, it was after one of those crowd scenes. Oh, I think it was after they like killed the first shark, and everyone's like, "Yeah, we killed it." And then it was after that scene because then there's a cameraman who's like, "Just the people who killed the shark, just the shark and the people who
Oh
killed
my
it."
God,
and there's
the
a crowd of
fucking
people,
cameraman.
and there's
Oh, God.
he says that line
For the paper.
And again, I get it. You're trying to show that there's anarchy and that everyone's crazy,
17
but also
times.
you shouted that line at least 5 times. I get the point. It's crazy. Either take the picture anyway, or just let's move on from this scene because I'm gonna have an aneurysm. Okay.
Can we talk about the fucking
Right.
fisherman
And
that
he's like-
supposedly killed that first shark? Going, well, what kind of shark is it? The dude, what's his name? Hooper.
Everyone in that scene was annoying.
Yeah, Hooper. It says it's like, oh, it's a tiger shark, and
It's
dude
a
turns
what?
around, and goes, a what?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But like everyone in that scene's like, oh, we killed it. We're gonna do this with the money. It's a shark. And I'm like, there's 80 people talking at the same time, and then there's the slap, and I'm like, why is everyone so? And then of course he's like, oh, all this happens, and again after he gets slapped, he doesn't point to the mayor, and I'm like, why is everyone standing up for the mayor? Which leads me to shortly after my previous write down, the next write down, which is the real bad guy, not the shark. Evil mayor that everyone is standing up for, LMAO.
For some
Like,
reason.
Yeah, for some reason, everyone's just like, nah, it's fine. So then
the
everyone
mayor's
goes
got our
to,
best interest in heart.
everyone goes to the hospital. They're smoking in a hospital. I thought that was never a
course.
rule. I mean, I know that this is the 70s, but I thought that was like a rule from the beginning. You never, there's O2 in use. I thought that was like a thing. I don't know. Whatever. I know that you could.
70s and 80s in the Wild West.
No, I know that in the 70s and 80s, people smoked everywhere. I
Yes.
know. But I always feel like hospitals were off limits just because people have like, breathing problems. I feel like they were. Maybe not. I don't know. He was smoking in a hospital.
Nah, they just section those places off.
Yeah, right. They just call
Just don't smoke here.
They just
You can
call them
smoke
nerds
everywhere.
and just let them just die, whatever.
Yeah.
You
So-
see, common sense is, in this movie at least, is portrayed as some sort of foreign concept.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
Oh, it's just valuable gold.
Okay,
So-
so let's get into the real hard-hitting questions.
Mhm.
The ones you always ask, Ethan.
Well, I haven't gotten my notes yet.
Oh, okay. Continue.
So now we're sitting here with. He's in the hospital. He's like, my son was in those waters too, and what we think
It's like,
maybe
then why the fuck
yeah, we're
did
like
you let people into the water?
we're like maybe the mayor's not a bad guy, but then he's still doing bad guy things, not signing the papers.
He's still sitting
and
there,
he's
like,
still-
contemplating, like, maybe I can say I had the
Maybe-
people's best interest in
maybe.
heart.
and he's
Like,
like,
oh,
I
'cause
always
he's having
did.
a fucking breakdown now.
It's a crappy villain, yeah, whatever. So then
He's a
my-
crappy villain,
we
whatever.
we gotta brush it off.
He's just a piece of shit.
Want to know why? Because I hate him.
Man. That's so great.
We skip ahead now. They're on the boat looking for the shark. You know what this is the only thing I wrote down in
Captain
this scene.
Quint.
They're trying to kill. There was so much to write down at the shark attack scenes, and I was just getting tired. So I didn't really. But like, they like are shooting barrels to the shark to get so it can't dive, all sorts. But then my one line, he says, this is before the shark attack scene. Sorry, he's going to go look at the boat that they found where the dead guy pops out,
Yeah.
and he says, and of course, you know me, I time everything. He says, be back in 2 minutes. And he was in the water for 48 seconds. He was in the water. He said, bite mark, other bite mark, corpse, and then it gets out the water, 48 seconds.
I mean,
found the tooth, dropped the tooth.
Right.
Oh gosh, dropped everything of importance.
Yeah, everything. He never
flashlight.
Old Butterfingers. He dropped everything in the movie. He dropped a harpoon, a light, and a tooth all in one scene, and then he drops a harpoon again that's poison coated to kill it. He had poison damage on that bad boy.
Wasted.
Wow.
So my final note is was my probably my favorite line in the movie is whenever they have scars on their legs and they're like, "Ha! So we drink to our legs." I'm gonna use that one later. But yeah, describe the movie in 3 words.
Before we do that, what's the line that he says whenever he shoots him? Whenever he shoots the oxygen tank.
Smile, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, I love that.
Mm-hmm.
I was like,
I was kind of disappointed that that's how they killed it.
Out of this
whole really?
Yeah, I mean it was cool.
Blew the fuck out of it, man.
No, it was awesome. Was it a well designed
spectacular fashion?
Was it climactic? Was it well designed? Was it well done?
Yes.
But I'm still disappointed that's the way they killed it. I was really hoping it was going to be loaded with like 80 harpoon holes and like scarred up. No, it just blew the thing to smithereens.
Oh yeah.
Not like that's a bad ending. I'm not disappointed in the ending by any means.
By the end of the movie, it is pretty fucking banged up. It's been shot, stabbed.
Yes.
Well, I know, but that's why I'm like, at what point is this thing going to bleed out? Are we going to kill it? But then when they blow it up, I was like, if we just could have got something like that to happen sooner, this would have been a lot quicker. I know that's not desperation, but still.
That was such an 80s climactic finish. Is what it felt like.
I think maybe that's why I was like, that's how they killed it, really? Because it felt like an 80s climactic finish. I was like, oh yes, let's blow the bad guy up.
And then just before we start getting into the hard-hitting questions that Ethan has, like he always does, John Williams, always my favorite composer, always my favorite music.
I had forgotten that he scored this movie.
And man, there are so many points in that last probably quarter of the movie where it's so suspenseful and there's so much music going on, and like you can just hear that like 70s Star Wars John Williams vibe in like the whole score of the movie. And especially during like that last little tidbit, there's just like so much like little stuff that like just makes it feel so like of its time. It's so different, but I just enjoyed it a lot. Anyways, continue, Ethan.
What? 3 words?
Big tooth boy.
Yeah.
Got him.
Need a boat.
Need a boat.
Need a boat.
A bigger boat.
I was gonna say bigger boat now, but now that I think about it, I'm gonna say corrupt, murderous mayor. Greedy, murderous mayor.
Greedy, murderous mayor.
And 1 word: blood. There was so much blood.
Yeah,
dude.
Red.
As soon as
Crimson.
someone dies, it's like a fount.
Yes.
Which, to be fair, like man, what I were saying, like it is kind of. That does kind of make sense. Whenever you put just a little bit of blood in water, it looks like a lot. So maybe they would be. It would look like that,
Yeah.
Like
someone
I have
gets
to
their
give
leg
them
bit
that.
off. It's just like bam.
Especially if someone's getting ripped apart.
Right? Yeah. I was like, I have to give them that. Like there would be a lot of blood in the water. So
you know what really stuck with me? The stories that Quint tells from the Indianapolis.
Yeah. Those were cool. That was the only time that he seems like not a douchebag.
Right.
When he's drunk, of course. Right.
Yeah.
So we drink to our legs. Ha ha ha.
I love how at the top of the movie when the first girl gets eaten up, you don't see any blood in the water. She's getting pulled around like a freaking rag doll.
Yeah, and then the second one is just like,
and then the child gets bit once and it's like boom, just fount of blood. Right. You're like,
That's
oh my
only
god.
It was a lighting
very
difference.
Very important.
Oh, I get that, but I think it's also because you also don't want to put that much blood at the top of the movie. Yeah. It's kind of off-putting. I just think it's funny though. It's like I think
it makes it a little more unsettling, honestly.
Yeah,
the second one is way more hitting that way.
Oh yeah, especially if it's a child, like a little small child is like bam, bit, and like oh my god, wow. And then of course, everyone in droves goes running into the water. I'm like,
to get their kids. I think that would actually happen. To get their kids out the water. A bunch of parents are stupid when their kids are involved, okay?
I guess you're right, but I just thought it was funny. It's like you watch this kid just get dismembered, and everyone's like, run to the water. Yeah. All of us together in unison.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
I'm like, what?
A kid's
like, quick, while he's munching on the small fry.
We could accost them all at once.
Oh, my God. Charge! Kill it!
It's so good.
Oh, that'd be great.
Oh, man, it's perfect.
There it is!
Tackle him.
He can't take us all on.
He can't take us. He can't eat us all at once.
Oh man.
Is this an Area 51 raid now?
Yes. I mean,
they can't kill us all, can they? I mean,
if we all jump inside his mouth, he can't eat us all at once.
I'm honestly curious as to what would happen if that was actually the mindset a mob would go with.
I mean, the shark would probably just leave and kill a couple more.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
they're not gonna. What are they gonna do? Freaking fist fight a shark? They're just built different? No, they're not. A bunch of parents looking for their kids.
This crowd of
it's like a bunch of seagulls trying to kill a whale.
But if a kid gets hurt, the parents just do the stupidest things anyway. So I was like, yeah, all the parents are gonna run the water. That makes sense.
I just thought it was funny.
Important side note though, doesthedogdie.com? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Okay.
the dog.
There
is
is a dog present at the beach.
No,
during the
apparently
first
there
encounter.
was a scene, but the scene was removed. So there isn't a scene of the dog dying.
God, really?
But the dog
Yeah.
disappears. You know the dog dies.
I think I've heard of that actually.
Mhm.
Jeez.
There was
I went on. Does the dog die? As soon as I saw a dog on the beach, I was like, "Don't put a gun in a scene if you're not going to shoot it." And I was like,
Yeah.
"They put a dog in the scene, they're going to shoot him." I was like, so I looked up. I quickly, as my little thumbs could type, I typed in "doesthedogdie.com" Jaws, and it said there was two options. It said yes, and one of them was like, "No other animals but sharks die" or whatever. And I was like, but does the dog die? And the next one was like, I'm happy they got rid of the scene, but the dog disappears now. I was like, okay, so does the dog die.com?
Yeah. I think I've heard of that before in the past. There was a scene like a kind of moment. It's like,
Shark rolls up with a shotgun and
yeah.
goes, "No, Ma,
no.
he's my dog. I'll do it."
I'll do it myself.
And the shark eats both of them. And it was metal.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Sharks are fucking cool.
Yeah, I really didn't think I know a lot of people who are afraid of sharks, and I just feel like
Oh God.
it's
The only part of this movie
I understand
that would
that
make
it's
me
called
afraid of
an
sharks
irrational
is Quint's death.
Yeah.
Like, holy
Yeah,
fuck.
for sure. Yeah, like
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
the fear of like actually getting killed by a shark. Yeah, like I get it, but it's like I understand that it's an irrational fear, so like you can't really rationalize it. But also, just it's one of those things where it's like I don't know, like if it seems like no matter how like deep you would go on a beach, you have to go so much deeper before a shark would even come present. So it's like in my life, I am probably never going to encounter a shark, and I don't even go that deep on the beach anyway. I go like knee deep tops. I don't know. It's just me. I don't really.
I'm sure
it's gross water anyway.
It also depends on where you are,
Mhm.
like which waters
Yeah.
you're going to be swimming in, because
Yeah, you're right,
they
yeah.
do have shallow water sharks.
Yeah, I guess sort of.
but none of that.
None of that.
No,
yeah,
none of that caliber for sure.
Yeah, people are dying
I'll
and
be
they're
finding
like
a great
little
white
bit
in
out.
there.
or like they're dying and they're like the first scene they're like really far out from shore, but you're like, how'd that bit get that far out of shore so quickly? Right? Like the first death is the only death where I'm like, okay, wait, like she got that far.
She has to be a professional.
You're like, how did you get that far? That fast? And you're shouting at him to come over here, ma'am. You swim way too
And he
fast.
just passes out on the fucking beach.
That's what's interesting. Drunk boy cannot run. He trips. Cannot take his pants off. He trips. And then he just naps on the beach. He's like, you know what? Trying to get laid? Not worth it. Just lays down.
Like, I go in the water, I'm not coming back.
I know he was trying to. He was trying to probably take his pants off. There's a point where I thought he was trying to take his shoes off that he didn't have on.
Honestly, I thought he was taking shoes off too. You're right.
Yeah, and then I thought he was just like, I can't get these shoes off, and I was like, buddy,
like,
you're not wearing any shoes.
What are you talking about?
I don't know if you're drunk or high, but man, you are out.
You got something going on.
Yeah, I don't know. But anyways,
yeah, no, Jaws. I mean, I guess I didn't dislike the movie, but
who's your favorite character?
Oh, for sure, the researcher guy.
Same.
Yeah,
glasses, man.
Dang it, we all I like when we all have different favorites. But I mean, to be fair, he was
he
was the only not insufferable character.
Police chief seemed like the only sane person on the island.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Even the children and his wife and everyone else adjacent to him, besides the researcher, he was the only one that's like, oh my God, what is going on around here?
Yeah,
and you're
I can't think of one person that I didn't hate except for researcher and to a degree police chief. Police chief was annoying too. It's worth mentioning though. I just finished watching a bunch of Stranger Things, and as soon as the police chief was like, I'm the police chief, I can do whatever I want. I was like, okay, Hopper.
Yes, so good.
And I liked the shark.
Wow. My favorite character was the
Talk
murderous
about a great
shark.
Performance.
Yeah. You like it because it just murdered children. Is that it? Is that what it was?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
We don't gotta get back into this, guys. We don't gotta get back into this.
I'm bringing it back up. I'm bringing it back up.
Nobody say anything, don't.
Anyways, thank you for listening. I appreciate it so much. If you would like to find all of our links, we have a Linktree at Linktree /Ian Wolf, and it has all of our social media stuff. All where you can find our, Spotify things and Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, all that fun stuff.
Mine's a spruce. Ian's got a conifer. Sean has an oak.
Oh, that's what I get? That's weak as hell, but all right.
Hey, man, oak trees are fucking cool.
I never said they weren't cool, just I don't want to be an oak. I want to be unique.
And on that note, guys, I will see you next week.
Yeah, there.
Bye-bye.